Breaking news! What seemed like a promising and calm OTA period has quickly turned into a storm of uncertainty for the Baltimore Ravens, and this isn't just a common concern. It's something that could shake up the entire fabric of the 2025 season for the Ravens defense, and it all starts with a player whose name has been circulating with hope, excitement, and anticipation, until now. But before we go any further, be sure to like this if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always great to see fans of all ages cheering for this team. And if you'd like, comment below, "Go Ravens, my heart is yours," to keep the energy high. Let's get right to it. Second-year safety Bo Braid left practice early following a collision on a deep ball, helped off the field with an apparent lower body injury. Jonas Schaefer was the first to report the news, noting that Braid could at least put weight on both legs, but the true severity remains a mystery. No update from head coach John Harbaugh has left fans holding their breath, hoping that it's nothing serious. For now, we're stuck in limbo, and that's a tough place to be when it comes to one of the defense's most exciting young talents. And this isn't just about one injury. Braid was expected to make the leap this year, potentially stepping up as a key contributor following Darius Washington's Achilles injury. Remember last preseason? Braid was electric, 16 tackles, 8 stops, a forced fumble, a pass deflection. He played like a man possessed. He was fast, aggressive, and fearless, laying it all on the line in every rep. This was the guy fans were excited about. And now, not only is his development at risk, but the entire safety depth chart looks razor thin. Let's be honest, behind Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton, things are looking shaky. We're talking about a drop-off to Suzie Kane, an improving player not expected to shoulder this kind of responsibility so soon. And that's not all. The Ravens are now experimenting, with Jeff Zrebiec reporting that Jalen Armour-Davis is getting snaps at safety. Defensive coordinator Zach or even called him potentially the smartest guy in the DB room. That versatility might be valuable, but let's not sugarcoat it. The Ravens are clearly scrambling for solutions. And if Braid is out for an extended time, 1 month, 2 months, or worse into the regular season, it's time to act. There's no excuse for sitting still while proven talent is sitting in free agency. Justin Simmons, Julian Blackmon, Jordan Whitehead, these aren't just bodies to plug a hole. These are legit players who could instantly become the third best safety on this roster. Each of them brings experience, toughness, and an ability to elevate a defense that is dangerously close to being exposed in the secondary. If Baltimore wanted to get creative, they could even sign one of these guys and push Hamilton into the nickel role, allowing him to float around and play that jack-of-all-trades position he's thrived in. There's room to maneuver, but it has to happen now, not in August when the options are even more limited and the clock's ticking. But it's not just the secondary where depth is raising red flags. After Roquan Smith, what does this linebacker room really offer? Trenton Simpson was supposed to be the guy, but let's look at the facts. 0 snaps in Week 15, 6 in Week 16, 4 in Week 17, and 0 again in both playoff games. 10 total snaps in the final 5 matchups, including 2 elimination games. That's not a vote of confidence. The coaching staff made it loud and clear they didn't trust Simpson when it mattered most. This is where Germaine Pratt enters the conversation. Recently released by the Bengals, Pratt is now available, and he checks every box. Veteran leadership. Top 10 in the NFL in tackles last year. Team captain. A steady, reliable presence who could step in next to Roquan Smith and instantly improve this defense. And while some might argue he's not a great coverage linebacker, let's remember we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for stability and production in a group that desperately lacks both. Behind Simpson, we're looking at Jack Cochran, Chandler Martin, Jay Higgins, either undrafted or unproven. Teddy Buchanan might eventually be ready, but eventually doesn't help you in Week 1 against the high-powered offense. The idea of signing Pratt isn't about giving up on Simpson. It's about giving this team insurance, experience, and competition. There's one looming issue, though: cap space. The Ravens currently have around $18 million in total space, but only $5 million in effective space after future commitments. That's tight, but, as Brian McFarland pointed out, Baltimore has options. Extensions for Lamar Jackson or Odefoa could free up significant room quickly, and this front office has proven time and time again they know how to make the math work when it really matters. So here's the million-dollar question. Should the Ravens go all in and sign Germaine Pratt? Is this the right move to stabilize the linebacker room while giving Simpson room to develop at the right pace? If you're still with me, let's dive deeper, because this isn't just a depth chart dilemma or a training camp footnote. This could be the difference between Baltimore fielding a championship-caliber defense or scrambling to patch holes in critical moments. Let's be real, Ravens fans, how many times have we seen a promising season derailed not by lack of talent, but by lack of preparation? We've talked about Bo Braid's injury and the precarious state of the safety room. We've highlighted Trenton Simpson's limited playoff role and what that says about his readiness. Now, let's bring it all together. If the Ravens decide to stand pat and trust the young core, they are essentially gambling on health, development, and untested talent rising to the moment. In the case of Braid, if his injury lingers longer than expected or if he returns but isn't the same aggressive playmaker we saw in the preseason, that gamble backfires. With Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks being the only locked-in, healthy safeties with experience, Baltimore risks not just depth issues, but coverage breakdowns, missed assignments, and an over-reliance on star players who can only do so much. The same logic applies to linebacker. If Simpson struggles early or can't earn the coach's trust, you're throwing out Cochran, Martin, or Buchanan into real game scenarios. That's a hard ask in a division with Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, and a Pittsburgh offense that's trying to find rhythm with a new-look roster. Not to mention the Ravens' own expectations, a deep playoff run, maybe even another MVP season for Lamar, maybe more. You don't get there without a rock-solid defense backing you up. So the real question is, why take that risk? Germaine Pratt may not be perfect. He's 29, not elite in coverage, and he'll cost some cap space. But he's available now, he's reliable, and he knows the AFC North inside and out. A one-year deal gives you flexibility and stability. It's not a commitment, it's a smart hedge against uncertainty. Same goes for someone like Justin Simmons at safety. These are not luxury signings. These are necessities if this team wants to stay in contention. What's even more interesting is that the Ravens actually have the levers to make this happen. As mentioned, an extension for Lamar could free up major space. We're talking about a guy who will eventually be extended regardless. It's not a matter of if but when. Use that timeline to your advantage. Create room now while talent is still on the table, before other teams with bigger cap sheets swoop in. It's also a statement, both to the locker room and the fan base, that Baltimore is all in. That injuries won't derail this campaign. That this team isn't going to wait until week 4, after a couple of rough losses, to act. That's the difference between being proactive and being reactive, and in the NFL, that distinction can define a season. Remember, last year, there were rumblings about linebacker and secondary depth even before injuries hit, and then they did. It cost the team big. The Ravens have a shot to fix that narrative before it starts repeating itself. And for a team with the kind of defensive identity Baltimore prides itself on, that's a decision that must be made now. So again, Ravens flock, do you bring in Germaine Pratt and maybe even a free agent safety to reinforce this defense? Or do you roll the dice on Braid's recovery and Simpson's development, trusting the young guys to rise in the spotlight? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you haven't yet, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a beat during this wild offseason. More content is on the way, and we've got plenty more Ravens news coming your way. Stick around, click the video on screen now to keep the momentum going.